in the series. Hello and welcome to another Warcraft 3 audio commentary. Today we're going to be watching the third game, Game 3, in the series for WEL between Coolxian, spawning in as the Blue Night Elf in the upper right spawn. This is a 3-player map, so you have a spawn here, a spawn down here, then a spawn here. The map is Nomad Isles 1.2, I think. It might be something else. I think it's 1.2. I don't know. But it's Nomad Isles, and we have Cechi spawning in as the Yellow Undead in the upper left. And of course, this is Game 3. Like I said before, we are streaming these live on twitch.tv/Pureby. These will go onto the YouTube channel tomorrow-ish. Hopefully, without any problems. Anyway, so we can go ahead and see some of the basic stuff happening here. Whoops. Some of the basic stuff. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. What am I doing? Why is the camera going? It doesn't like me today. I don't know. So here we go. The Death Knight is coming out. Of course, we have some ghouls. We actually have a ghoul scouting. Now, this is a different strategy, very much so than the last strategies we saw Cechi playing, which shows a little bit about like the versatility of this guy. He's really, really good, and he does play a lot of different strategies, and he's really always a fun bit of joy to watch. Over here we can see Cheyenne, of course, going with the Demon Hunter once more. Kind of standard now. Over here we can see he is going to Ancient of W creep this, and the ghoul is going to get a little bit lucky, and he's actually going to find his target right at the very start of the game. And it looks like he's going to come down here, try to probably harass this wisp, maybe the archer. Looks like the archer? Yeah, he has to be a little bit careful not to aggro the creeps with the ghoul. You saw a little bit of an exchange where he backed out and the archer ran over there. Just really cool high-level tactics, quote-unquote, whatever you want to call it. Here we're going to see the Demon Hunter has come out, and he's going to force that ghoul to run away. Of course, this has had a very cool effect. Get it? Cool? Shy? Whatever. It's had a very good effect of making this Ancient War take a lot more damage, and he's going to have to repair a little bit more, and it's just going to be a little bit more intense and stressful for Cheyenne, which is something you always want to do. If you can stress out your opponent in the early game, do it, because that's going to make them make mistakes. Even good players, if you can put them under enough stress, you will start to make them make more mistakes. Now, he did sell his TP, and he's come over here with his Death Knight, and he didn't really get any of the experience, but he has done a good job, you know, with what he's done. Now, this probably wasn't a lot of stress for, you know, for Cheyenne. Cheyenne knew very well that he wasn't going to lose anything there. The more experienced you are, the more you run into those situations, and the calmer you are, and the better you play. But it's still good practice to keep doing that, you know, because the more stress you put him under throughout the game, it kind of accumulates a little bit, you know, so just constantly do it. Here we can see him pulled out this. He did go ahead and run the Wisp right on by to go ahead and get the Forest Troll Shadow Priest. But unfortunately, it looks like it might die. The creeps aggroed it, the Death Knight aggroed it, and he does kill it just slightly short of the distance he needed to make it to get to the Moonwells to heal up and be safe. Over here we can see there's a Skeleton Warrior just whacking away on this here Tree of Ages. The Death Knight took a lot of damage to take that down, but that was a lot of money. That was a unit that Cheyenne clearly wanted that he ended up not getting. Now, this is a cool little place, this shop. It's got like this hawk that doesn't sleep or something. So, you know, you can't really just run in there and buy items. It's an interesting mechanic, because he wants to buy the staff right here of teleportation. He gets purged like multiple times there. Kind of a big pain. And of course, there's this vile temptress too. It's just scary looking lady. And over here we can see that Cechi is just creeping out. A little bit hard to get your ghouls all in here. It's the kind of creep that you ideally can pull out, but it's a little bit hard to pull out because of range, dude. But, you know, it's not a huge deal. Over here we can see that he is indeed teching up. He does have a graveyard down right there on the map. Over here we can see Cheyenne, level 2 now. He healed up. How much Moonwell juice has he used? He's used a lot of Moonwell juice. Lots of it, actually. But that's life. And will we see any more surrounds coming from Cechi? Playing really well today with his micro, so he might actually manage to do just that. We'll have to wait and see if he manages it or not. Cechi over here just getting these ghouls out of the way, saying, let's go, ghoul. We don't want you dying. There you go. Again, just basic micro there. And he will go ahead and coil that up to full life. And it looks like he wants to do some early game harass right now, which is kind of what has been his MO, really. And, you know, Cheyenne's very much prepared for that. if we looked at his base, which we will in a second. I just don't want to. I don't want to look away from this, even though maybe nothing happens. Looks like nothing's gonna happen. Over here we can see Hunter Saw going down. Got lots of Moonwells. If you try to run into this, the Demon Hunter would have so many places to defend from that even if you surrounded, it wouldn't really matter. So that would be really hard to breach. With the Naga Sea Witch, things go a little differently. You can do a little bit more pressure, but he's just still gonna have to be careful, because as we saw last game, he did lose his Naga Sea Witch fairly early on, which isn't a big deal, but it feeds experience, which you don't really want to do. And also, we're gonna see that Cheyenne is going on to tier 3 over here. As you can see, Black Citadel gone down. Got these 3 ghouls chasing the Demon Hunter, which could actually kill all of those. But that's not really the goal of this Demon Hunter. He wants to be casting Mana Burn. Ideally, I guess. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he wants to be a little bit careful. Well, preservative there. But he definitely wants to stop this guy from creeping. And to stop any, like, stuff he wants to do from being harassed or whatever. But he will come over here. You know, he's done what he could. 4 ghouls chasing him. Might as well just do some damage. Didn't really kill anything, just took some damage, but he did force a coil, so yeah. However you want to look at that. We will see this archer kind of running away, but he does get hit by the cold arrow. We'll probably get hit by another one, yeah, so he's definitely going to die. He could hide and force a dust charge, but he won't do that. Not quite paying enough attention or something, I don't know. Over here we're going to see that the Demon Hunter does get a mana burn off on the Death Knight. 43 mana, not quite a perfect one, but pretty good nonetheless. Going to see the shot being cancelled right now for Mr. Cheyenne. Of course, that Wisp does just immediately detonate and blow up a skeleton. We'll see him trying to take down the ghoul. Going to see a Frost Arrow on the Demon Hunter. He might actually be able to save that ghoul just by spamming Frost Arrow and then maybe oh, not gonna happen. The Naga just too slow, and the Demon Hunter does prevail with that Boots of Speed and the Gloves of Haste. And he's gonna run just very narrowly by that creep because of the sheep right there in his path, but not quite close enough to get aggro and purged. Pretty good for the Demon Hunter. Over here we can see that's shop has gone back down. Of course, very close to tier 3 now. He is getting out some Dryads, getting up some bear attack so he can cast really cool spells like Rejuvenation and Bear Form. Fun stuff. It's all fun. Massive. Anyway, so over here we can see that, again, kind of doing the tier 3 strategy late game, mostly ghouls, get some fiends, go try hero, tree hero, whatever. Try hero, I think. Try hero, yeah. And also, you know, I just kind of noticed, this is very much a heart shape. Like, it's very heart shaped. Look at that. It's like, aww. It's like, I love you. The map is saying that to everybody. It's very... very friendly map. I don't know. Over here we can see tier 3 being reached for Cheyenne. Will he pick up the orb? Looks like he's just gonna get the Staff of Preservation. Is that actually a tier 3 item? It might be a tier 3 item. If that's a tier 3 item, I'm gonna feel silly, but I think it's a tier 2. I don't know. But he definitely waited. He might have been waiting for gold, actually. It was like 150 gold. So, I don't know. Someone's gonna correct me if I'm wrong, that's for sure. So, feel free to read the comments below. Up here we can see a statue coming out for Cechi. He's going to be getting his Lich out, of course, his 3rd hero. And, yeah, there's a statue, of course. He's just creeping up. He wants to, this is a good time to creep, because you know your opponent's creeping pretty hard right now. It's almost funny, right? Because the way the undead players play a lot in this sort of matchup when you go for this strategy is you gotta go for this thing where you're like, stop the elf from creeping early on, and ideally you're just trying to stop that Demon Hunter from hitting level 3, because once he hits level 3 he has no real reason to creep. He just kind of chases your army around the map the whole time. It's kind of frustrating. Sometimes they'll do it at level 2 as well, but not generally against this strategy because they have that Naga and then they get to Nova and everything, and it's like kind of powerful. So you end up seeing a lot of times the Demon Hunter being a little bit more careful against this strategy. But mainly it's all coming down to the panda level, because you don't want the panda to hit too high level. So you end up saying, okay, nobody creeps until tier 3, and then we all creep. It's kind of interesting, but kind of funny how that works. But it does work out in the undead's favor, and that's why you see the undead's players harassing and stuff, because you know that you don't want it. You want to be creeping without really having to worry about like a Demon Hunter like harassing you and stuff. Of course, your army in the late game is more than capable of dealing with it. It's just in that mid game, you're not going to be able to creep as well as the panda will. And then you get like this panda push at tier 3, that everything up. So that's why you got to delay things. Plus, the elf just is going to creep faster than you in the early game and the mid game. So you kind of push it till tier 3 until we start creeping, or around it, you know, which makes a lot of sense when you think about it. Here we can see a wisp right here. Will he go ahead and get the detonation off? No, he won't. The wisp died, but that's okay. Life goes on. Over here we can see it. This time, we got 3 bears and 4 dryads. Will we see another bear on the way? No, it looks like we're gonna see a bunch of dryads. Not quite as bear heavy this time around, which, you know, it makes some sense just because of the map, because it's a big map. Bears aren't super mobile compared to dryads. Dryads are pretty mobile, so you'll find that like on bigger maps, a lot of times you'll see elf players generally do want to make more dryads just because they're really fast units. You can see just like they're super fast. But plus, I think part of it is definitely going to be because he lost last game to that heavy air strategy with the Worm and the Destroyers, which are really good against bears, not so good against dryads. So it's a bit of metagame as well. Of course, over here we do see there's a shade giving him loads of intel, saying, I know exactly where the elf player is. Of course, that sentry ward's going to go down, and it's actually going to kill the shade, so bad luck, bad timing, whatever you want to call it, for the old shade there. Did pick up a Scroll of Restoration. That's a great item for the panda. Not a bad item, really. It would have been really, really helpful for the undead player, because he needs that AoE mana regeneration. It's so, so good. But in this case, the elf got it. Wouldn't they also make great use of it, because all of their units also have like mana and stuff. And the undead mana units don't really have, like the fiends and the wolves don't have mana, but their heroes rely on nukes so much, and there's mana burn. So anything you can do to get like mana potion and mana back and stuff like that's always really useful. Because of course you rely heavily on those nukes to get the to remove the elf heroes from the fights. And then once you've done that, you generally win the fights. Unless there's like a ton of bears and you for some reason went like heavy ground, then you might not win the fight. But usually if you get the heroes out of the way, then the elf army just kind of falls down. So that's kind of one of the goals. Over here we can see both players creeping. Now they're creeping pretty, you know, nice sized camps. They should drop some pretty decent items. Gonna get a Wand of Mana Stealing, not a bad item. He could sell it for 200 gold, but again, it's kind of good actually though. I guess you just can't afford the item slots, because you'd have to be really, because it's only 15 mana. It's like a level 1 mana burn, and you already have a level 2 at this point. So, but you can use it for like 150 mana, like still right off the bat, which is kind of nice. But you know, he didn't want it. Fair enough. He did have this, but I guess he just thought the money would be better than. Maybe let's see. Is he breaking food? He broke upkeep. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense then. Generally, if you break upkeep, money is kind of important. Although he looks like he sold it when he was in upkeep, which is not a great idea because then he only gets 70% of 200 gold. I'm gonna do math, which shouldn't do, but that should be 60 gold taken away from the 200 gold, which gives him 140, which is ow. It's really bad. Hopefully I did that math right. Over here we can see an Overlord, level 6. Look at that guy. Chaos damage, just 26 to 26 chaos damage. Very, very nice. And wow, look at his items. Holy crap. Checking with the items on the map. He's got a Potion of Greater Mana. That's insanely good. 300 mana when used. A Spiked Collar. That's someone's little Fellhound. It has mana burn. It's a pretty good item. A pretty good summon, and a Book of the Dead, which of course everyone knows, the 4 skeleton melee guys and the 4 skeleton range dudes, really good. Over here though, we can see Cheyenne just getting this expansion up, just got it up and running, but it's gonna immediately get hit. And will he try to take down just the Tree of Life? Looks that way. Over here we can see that Cheyenne is going for Shahi's base. Getting a nice amount of panda right there, damage in on those acolytes. I'm gonna see, it looks like 2 acolytes are down. Over here we can see the expansion will go down as he TPs into this base to defend his base, and it looks like he's going to keep his base up. Did he get a bear? Looks like the bear did not. Maybe? Oh, it did die. Did it? Yeah, it died. Sometimes what happens when you TP with a bear that's taking like a lot of damage, just a unit, they die when they TP, and you can see this body right there. So it kind of died right there, which is really unfortunate because we clearly saw it TP, but it was so low that it just kind of died anyway. So that's life. Not a big deal for Cechi. That was actually a pretty good trade. He knocked down the expansion. It's gonna go back up, but you know, that buys him time, and he really only lost like 3 acolytes and some food, which actually, okay, that's a little bit worse than I realized, because he doesn't have to wait for the ziggurat to finish building, actually to remake those acolytes. But because he did so well in the fight, I think killing a bear, you know, taking out an expansion, he's not really in a bad spot, and both players are in upkeep anyway. So it's not that big of a, like, if you're gonna lose acolytes like that, it's generally best to have that happen when you are in upkeep, because you're probably gonna end up fighting again fairly soon, right? Because you're in upkeep, and both players are in upkeep. You can see 63 to 66 food. This is a fight Cechi really wants to take because he wants to get back down under upkeep. That would be great. Oh, a rock golem. This is a really good item. This does have a stun, a throw rock, just like what the normal creep does. You're gonna see the bears getting nuked down right at the start of this fight. You're gonna see those guys going immediately down. All 3 of them, are any of them getting staffed out? It looks like the answer is no. You're gonna see it looks like a scroll of healing going off for the undead player. We'll try to coil that frostworm, keep it alive. Of course, we do see all these dryads running right into the fiends, and they're going to start getting picked off. Yes, one by one. Going to see a frost nova onto the panda. Maybe a little bit of damage switch over to the panda with the destroyers. Of course, they can't actually attack the dryads or anything. The rock golems, of course, immune to magic as well. Do you see the panda taking an invulnerability scroll? We will see that scroll of restoration finally going off, but the demon hunter is taking the most damage right now. We will see the lich in a little bit of trouble. We see the coil. Yes, the coil does go on, but the stun going onto the death knight at the same time, just about. The lich is taking a lot of damage. Will we see another coil just in time? No, we won't, and the panda does TP out. Will we see the demon hunter dying before the TP? Oh no, he levels up and lives at 30 life. Very, very intense, very close right there. And of course, that not super great for Cechi, because he did lose the lich right there, but he forced a TP, killed all those bears, and he forced the rock golem to kind of be something. I say forced, you know, it really wasn't a bad outcome for Cechi, even though he did lose that lich. Not the best, but a lot of great items got used, the scroll of restoration, etc. For Cheyenne. So Cheyenne's gonna want to do some damage, or actually no, he's gonna be fine because he does have this expansion up. So that's going to be the biggest problem for Cechi, is that he did go ahead and re-expand like immediately. And you know, he was delayed with the acolyte. So when you put everything together, I don't know who's ahead right now, but
a player's forces
he's got a lot of experience on his heroes, and it's kind of a big deal. Cheyenne is buying potions of lesser invulnerability from this shop right here. Yeah, I was like, it says it hasn't been crapped out, but it has. So you can see over here, I'm gonna see Cheyenne. He needs to, or Cechi needs to do something, I think, because the longer the game goes, the more in the favor it's gonna be for Cheyenne, I think, because he does have that expansion up, and he's still creeping. Oh. If this gets to level 5, this panda, that's going to be really rough to deal with. Of course, he doesn't have his lich out, so he's got to wait for that pretty much. There's not really a lot he can do if he doesn't get it back out. He does have another potion of mana. He bought it for his death knight. Probably a good choice. Needs to try to get his mana back up with the statue. Needs to try to avoid taking too many mana burns before a fight starts, because that's going to really, really hurt. It's really hard to regenerate 150 mana just from a statue, especially if he ends up saying, screw it, I'm going to mana burn your statue.
Are under attack.
It can get really hard, but he really has to protect the Death Knight there more than anything else. The coil is really instrumental in all those fights. Of course, the panda is right now creeping up, getting, you know, he's taking rejuvenation, so it's really not very hard for him. He can creep just about anything he wants. Kind of surprised he didn't go for the coil right there, but I guess he just didn't think it was worth it. We'll try to go ahead and take down the panda. Could potentially get a kill right here, actually, because the only thing he has is a potion of healing. The Death Knight, or the Demon Hunter, is actually staffing it onto one of the Dryads. We will see that the panda getting the rejuvenation. It will get eaten by a Destroyer, and down... No, he's probably going to get staffed out by the Demon Hunter. Almost... Oh, there's no staff! Oh, the staff preservation is just not on any of those heroes, it looks like, and he does go down. So no more panda. The Lich coming into the fight. This could be the turnaround that Cechi needed to actually be able to win this fight. Now, he is going to go ahead and start trying to kill down maybe these Dryads so he can use this Frost Rune a little bit more offensively, but we can see kind of a heavy bear investment coming in from Cheyenne, and that's going to be really not great for him if he loses all those Dryads, because then that worm is just going to demolish these things. All of those bears are going to die. There's really not a lot that can be done about it to save them. He does have the Orb of Venom on the Demon Hunter, but unless this thing is out of mana, well, actually, okay, so the Death Knight is out of mana, so he can't coil the Frost Worm. He does have to be really careful with it then, but he's actually fighting at the tree range. I guess he's trying to bait the Frost Worm. Yeah, he is. Okay, now at this point, the Frost Worm should probably go home and just, you know, or wait or something, not coming back into this fight. I guess he could do it, maybe. He would lose it if he runs it back in, though. Not to kill the bear, because nothing could hit it there, but if he runs it back in to the Demon Hunter will kill it. This is an interesting situation, because Cheyenne can't just give up this expansion. He needs the expansion. I mean, he could, because he still has this, and he still can pick this up and walk it around, but he doesn't really want to. He's got Che in a really bad spot as long as he has this, so I don't know. It looks like he's gonna just TP in probably the Demon Hunter. Yeah, the Demon Hunter used up some Moonwells, gonna get the mana burn off. He's gonna try to kill the Frostworm once again, but we did see a Scroll of Regeneration, or I'm sorry, a Scroll of Health being popped right there. The Frostworm does go down. Oh, Demon Hunter is taking a lot of damage. He does have that Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Gonna go ahead and pop that. His Potion of Healing is currently on cooldown. Gonna be able to take out the Destroyer as well right there. Cheyenne is just playing really well, but he still has to be really careful because he still can't afford to lose everything he has, because he has to try to defend this expansion for as long as he can. And eventually it looks like, I mean, Che's running fairly low right now on gold. You know, this gold mine's got about 1,000 gold left in it, and he's going straight into like Mass Dryad production right now, which would probably be the best choice. Looks like he's making a couple of bears, but the thing about the bears is that without a lot of Dryads, you know, 5 Dryads, it's a lot of Dryads. The goal is, you know, the problem, right, is these heavy units, they just kind of eat bears, but these guys kind of eat the heavy units, so it's kind of like an interesting trade-off. Level 6 being picked up by the Demon Hunter. He does have enough mana for a Metamorphosis, and he does have that Potion of Healing, and he used both. That's going to be really good. Really hard for this Death Knight to deal with, and we do see the Rejuvenation being cast. There's no Destroyer in sight. Actually, there it is, but it's about to die, so it's not going to be able to eat that off, and the Demon Hunter goes down. A really well-timed Breath of Fire right there. Timed almost perfectly, if not perfectly, with that Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, like 7 seconds after it gets used, and just, you know, killed the Death Knight. He couldn't even really react to that. And it looks like this is going really poor for Chehi, and he's going to go ahead and call GG and say good luck into the next game. Cheyenne taking victory. Really well played by both players. A great series. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching them, all the games, and I think that's all we got. So I really enjoyed the games. Hope you guys did as well. Like I said, these games were streamed live at twitch.tv/PureB. The games do go up onto YouTube at youtube.com/SirPureB. Slight difference there, but hey. And if you want to find out when I'm streaming and you don't want to like follow me on Twitch, or if you do, or if you use Twitter at all, you can always follow me at Twitter at PureB. I believe it's Twitter at PureB, right? Yeah, no, it's SirPureB at Twitter. I get a little confused. So you can always check that out. I always tell when I'm doing a stream and stuff like that. So that's all of that. That's the stream for the day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. That doesn't... There we go. There. Actually, going on break. We're not really on break. I'm not sure what I'm doing. Hitting the wrong buttons. That's what I'm doing. Let's fix that. All right.